Sometimes you hear an artist at the right time, in the right place, and your life changes. The weight of the world lifts and the noise of all your worry just fades away. Hi there, my name's Cameron, and on September 13th of this year I saw Dodie live at the Danforth in Toronto. Now I am still reeling from this experience, and this video mostly exists to help me process it and the emotions that came with it. I don't think I'll ever let go of the memories I made that night, and I thought I'd try and share why with you all. While I am a huge fan of Dodie, I probably became a fan a lot more recently than most. I missed the boat on all the English YouTubers who really made it big while I was in high school, and I've kind of been playing catch up for a few years. I actually got into Dodie's vlog content before her music. At the start of my uni days, there was still a bit of the douchey, I only listen to rock because that's the only real music kid in me. So I found it hard to admit even to myself that actually this ukulele cover of Toxic fucking slaps. But that side of me withered away the more I got into Dodie and similar artists though, and my interest peaked during the run-up to the release of Human this year. Back then, you see, I had a job. I was the arts and culture editor for my university's newspaper, and you get a lot of emails there. Mostly for fun local events or hilariously poor attempts at spam. One time I got an offer for custom fitted suits in New York, Ontario, but sometimes you get an invitation to something a little bigger than you might expect. One day, an email sat in my inbox with Dodie's name on it, and I became confused and excited. When I read it to discover that I'd been sent Human a few weeks early to review, I became utterly ecstatic. Well, ecstatic relative to the energy of a uni student on a Monday morning. Not only was it a huge honour to be sent this, but the singles for Human were already some of my favourite music Dodie had ever done. I still can't get over the slight but powerful mood shift in the chorus of Human, or the way that, if I'm being honest, slowly rises into a gorgeous emotional crescendo before gliding back into a lilting and beautifully tempered final refrain. But I still had no idea how incredible the EP would be. I'm glad I waited until the workday was finished to listen, because I was very quickly overwhelmed by the beauty and honesty of Human. This video is supposed to be about the concert, and I promise I'm getting there, but I can't leave out my first experience with the EP. It was frankly life-changing. I often struggle to feel relaxed. The world is loud and very fast and gets to be too much for me really easily. This is rarely more than an unpleasant background radiation in my life, but it still sucks, like most of the time. But Arms Unfolding, the opening track of the EP, makes me feel deeply, unwaveringly calm in a way that I'd forgotten was even possible. It's a minute and 32 seconds of complete and utter peace, and I can't overstate what a gift that is. Then I heard a monster, a song so outrageously cool, a bop of such intense magnitude that it shook everything I thought I knew about Dodie. It was just such a thrill to hear. The energy, the powerful electronic production, and that awesome bridge that still gives me chills. Monster is a cathartic, self-assured masterpiece of indie pop. It is the summer jam, tied only with Flatline by Ola Gartland. To take the kind of negative experience that the song is about and spin it into this powerhouse of confidence is something truly special. I could go on like this for every song in the EP, and I absolutely did in my review, but I think you get the point. Human is one of the most engaging experiences I've ever had with a piece of music. It helped me feel accepted, understood, and happy to be here. I went into it, the nervous, scatterbrained mess that I normally am, and came out the other end with a serenity and clarity that I've only gotten from a few other places and experiences. So, there I was, having heard Human, going about my life with higher than average spirits. What could be better? Well, not long after this, Dodie's tour was announced, with a date in Toronto. As it happens, a friend of mine in the newspaper is also a huge fan of Dodie, and we did not even hesitate. We were going to that show. From the moment we joined the queue in front of the venue, I knew this was going to be special. Well, I knew that anyway, but I'm trying to set up a story here, so bear with me. Now, I'm not normally one for big crowds, but there was something in the air that evening. All the excitement that had been building up inside me for months was suddenly a part of the atmosphere on the street. The people in front of us passed us back a bag full of pink paper hearts, which I will talk a little bit more about later on. Aside from the occasional very loving parent who was maybe a bit confused by the whole thing, everyone was giddy and excited, and why wouldn't they be? The opener for Dodie's North American shows is Adam Melcher, and a few things really stood out to me about him and his set. For one, he is quite possibly the friendliest man on the planet. On stage and off, he was so relaxed and sincere, and the way he presented himself really helped welcome the audience into the world of his music. And his performance was bloody brilliant. There's an understated beauty to his songs, an almost Bruce Springsteen-esque ability to pull a heartwarming story out of pretty much anything, including vehicle theft and divorce, and for the record, those are the same song. It's called Joyride, go check it out, it's fantastic. Adam Melcher is fun, his music is gorgeous and inspiring, and I'm so glad that he was there, because my little corner of the planet is much better for the presence of him and his music. And I even got to meet him! That's me, in the photo. Please don't look directly at me though, I can tell you're staring at the forehead and I just don't need to hear it. I was taken aback by Adam's set, but I was also astonished by just how much the crowd loved him. I have never seen this much universal love for an opening act. It really warmed my heart. I hope that has been happening at all of the other shows because Adam really deserves it. I can't wait to see where he goes next because it must surely be an upwards trajectory. I'm finally going to discuss Dodie's show, but I'm also going to try to not just ramble about how much I loved it. I've done that to quite a few friends now, and I gather that that isn't really great to listen to. But I really did love it more than life itself. All those feelings that I felt while listening to Human came back so vividly, it was like I was hearing the songs for the first time again. Every one of Dodie's songs is its own little world, but combined with her powerful stage presence, the fantastic band, and the gorgeous stage design, I was utterly immersed from arms enfolding opening the show in a delicate bliss to in the middle bringing it to this rapturous close. And Dodie's setlist was fantastic for this tour. Every track from Human is there, and the rest is made up of songs released either on You or Intertwined, but a lot of those have existed in some form for years now, and so it spans her whole career really nicely. The song placement is fantastic too, which I think is an underrated aspect of any show. There's a real art to making a setlist or even a playlist flow properly, and Dodie has nailed it. The energy rises into these great cathartic crescendos with tracks like Monster. They lull into these soft, beautiful moments of vulnerability with songs like She and Burned Out, and then they build into these huge moments of energy that perfectly punctuate the show. I know each show has a couple of different songs, but the overall shape of the setlist is fantastic, and the set at the Danforth was pretty much perfect. Dodie's touring band adds something truly special to the experience as well. The drummer and bassist help keep the energy super high, but are also perfect in moments where they need to bring a softer touch to the music, and the string players add this beautiful, soothing element to all of the right places. And I'd especially like to yell at the top of my voice about how incredible Orla Gartland is. Her vocal harmonies are outrageously cool, as was everyone else's, but I was surprised and deeply moved by the guitar parts that she's arranged for a few of the songs. They had a whole new dimension that helped make the live shows truly special. A lot of it is very small additions to certain sections of songs, but their impact is much greater than the sum of their parts, and they make a really beautiful difference. Also, Orla, if you happen to be watching this, could you please let me know what's on your pedal board? I am such a nerd for that stuff. So, the show was incredible. I was weepy for most of it, and so utterly captivated that I couldn't even pull my eyes away long enough to grab my phone for a photo. It does help that I was there with an incredible photographer who was going to take much more beautiful pictures than me anyway, but my point still stands. It felt like an affirmation. All the times that Dodie's music has helped me get through a crappy day, all the happy memories she's provided the soundtrack for, all of the times I've been in a bad mood after a night out and the Pastor's Good Life is Sad video has brought me back down to earth, all of it was leading up to this. And there's something else too. I've been to a lot of concerts, but for the first time, the crowd was just as important to my experience at this show. Do you remember it was either about 5 minutes or 3 years ago when I mentioned the paper hearts we got handed in the line to get in the venue? Well, there was something written on them. Hold your flashlight up to the heart during She to turn the entire venue pink for Dodie. Now this is the cutest idea ever, and I gather that this has happened at a couple other shows, but the moment of being in there when this happens is completely sublime. Now for this tour, Dodie has been playing a short bit of the song Rainbow as an intro to She. So after a lovely cello solo, the stage explodes into full colour as she sings, and then the lights dip back down for the start of She. And as the stage lights come up, everything is bathed in pink. It took Dodie a moment to realise what had happened, and she let out a soft little wow in between lyrics, and I couldn't have said it better myself. This was the moment that really hit me. This is when the night stopped being a show I really wanted to see, and started being a room full of people so deeply moved by Dodie's art that this is where they absolutely had to be tonight. Now, I don't really know who I am at the moment. The way I saw myself, even as recently as a year ago, doesn't really fit me anymore, and I haven't really known how to even address or refer to myself. But my experience at this show gave me a couple of labels that I'm quite happy to use. I am a Dodie fan. I'm also accepted, and I'm valid, and I'm going to be these things no matter what. Music has given me deep personal experiences before, but at this show for the first time, music gave me an experience of togetherness. Now, as I said, I've never been one for crowds, but I can't imagine this experience without them. It's one thing for a musician to soothe your soul. It's something entirely different for their music to connect you to other souls that you have something in common with. I don't think I've ever felt less alone, and Dodie's music helped me feel that by gathering a whole crowd of people who feel the same way, or at least feel something similar when they listen to that music. I have some thank yous to close this video out. The first, most obvious thank you is for Dodie. Thank you for making art and choosing to make compassion, acceptance and love such a huge part of that art. I hope you get as much out of creating it as we all do listening to it. To Dodie's talker and band, thank you for helping bring that music to life like this. You're doing an incredible job, and I promise you that your efforts aren't lost on the people that are coming to the shows. To Adam Melcher, thank you for being so much fun and for spending so much time with fans out in the rain after the show. I can't believe I hadn't heard of you that much beforehand, but I've been telling everyone about you since. To my wonderful friend who went to the show with me, gave me the best company, and took the beautiful photos I've been using in this video. Thank you for being you and for sharing this experience with me. To the person on Twitter who organised the paper hearts, thank you for a memory that I will never be able to let go of. And lastly, thank you for listening to me ramble on about a musician that I really like for this long. I should probably try to make a point out of all of this, so I'm going to try and do that now. Don't be afraid to be you. Don't be afraid to love the music or things or people that you love. The Cameron from a couple of years ago might have been a bit too embarrassed to even admit that he liked Dodie, but 2019 Cameron wears that on their sleeve and embraces the parts of who they are that they'd kept hidden even from themselves. Find the things that help you feel like you belong. Hold on to them for dear life and know that those feelings ring true. You do belong, and you're doing great, and it will all make sense